If you're thinking about buying your first Rolex, chances are you're looking at an Air King, a GMT Master 2, or maybe an Explorer. They're all fantastic watches. But there's another model that deserves a lot more attention. This is the Rolex Datejust reference 16014, and I think it might be one of the smartest vintage Rolex purchases you can make. At first glance, it doesn't scream for attention, and honestly, that's exactly why so many collectors love it. The 36mm case has proportions that have stood the test of time. Whether you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt or a suit, the Datejust simply works. This reference features an 18-karat white gold fluted bezel, giving it just enough presence without feeling flashy. The real highlight of this watch is the black tritium dial. Black dials are far less common than silver or champagne, and they completely change the personality of the watch. At 6 o'clock, you'll notice the T-Swiss T marking, showing that this is a tritium dial from the period. Over the years, the lume has aged naturally, giving each hour marker a warm tone that simply can't be recreated on a modern watch. One feature that often gets overlooked is the acrylic crystal. Yes, it scratches more easily than sapphire, but it also gives the watch a warmth and a slight distortion around the edges that vintage collectors really appreciate. Combined with the white gold fluted bezel, it creates a look that's unmistakably classic Rolex. If you're used to today's 40 or 41mm sports watches, 36mm might sound small. But once it's on the wrist, you quickly understand why this size has remained popular for decades. It's comfortable, balanced, and slips under a shirt cuff with ease while still having enough presence to stand out. Whenever you're shopping for a vintage Datejust, don't just focus on the dial. Pay close attention to the Jubilee bracelet. Bracelet stretch is completely normal after decades of wear, but excessive stretch can affect both value and comfort. It's one of the very first things experienced collectors look for. Vintage Rolex is all about the details, the condition of the bracelet, the shape of the case, the originality of the dial, and how everything comes together. A well-preserved watch with honest wear is often far more desirable than one that's been heavily polished or pieced together with replacement parts. The Jubilee bracelet is one of the reasons the Datejust has remained such an icon. It's incredibly comfortable, has a distinctive look, and perfectly matches the elegant character of the watch. Inside the 16014 is Rolex's caliber 3035 automatic movement. One of its biggest advantages is the quickset date. That means changing the date takes just a few seconds instead of constantly turning the hands around the dial. It's a feature that makes this watch much easier to live with if you rotate between several watches. What really makes the 16014 stand out is its balance. You get the convenience of the caliber 3035, the timeless proportions of a 36mm case, the elegance of a 36mm case, the elegance of a white gold fluted bezel, and the charm that only a vintage tritium dial can provide. It's a watch that feels just as comfortable as a daily wearer as it does in a serious collection. So, is the Rolex Datejust 16014 the best first Rolex? I think it makes a very compelling case. It's understated, practical, historically significant, and still one of the best values in vintage Rolex today. Now I'd like to hear from you. If you were buying your very first Rolex, would you choose a vintage Datejust like this, or would you save for a modern sports model? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe to Bezel Bombers for more vintage and luxury watch content.